Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your Battleground 2016 predictions video. Well, you know, the draft is come and gone. People are celebrating. SmackDown got pretty close to what Raw got. And it's like, it's bittersweet. It's like, okay, so we're celebrating because SmackDown managed to get to where Raw is, even though Raw is not even in the good spot. So I'm looking at this card and I kind of see like a lot of it's pretty worthless. They're starting a new era anyway. This is just like a pay-per-view that's just pretty much a throwaway Raw. Many people are already saying it's just going to be another episode of Raw, not even a pay-per-view. And like it's already a new era, the new era 2.0, even though we just started the new era post WrestleMania. Supposedly, once again, we're being fooled into thinking it's a new era when it's anything but. Um, but this is the new era. They just had a draft. No, I didn't watch it. And no, I don't plan to. And no, I don't plan on watching SmackDown. There's a couple of things that I'm unhappy about, like AJ Styles and John Cena not being on Raw, and I think that's going to hurt them in the end. And well, let's talk a little bit about it anyway. So we're starting off with Becky Lynch and Natalya. Natalya is a wrestler where there's really no excuse why she's not doing better in this company. She's got God-given ability in the ring. She's attractive. She is, full of wrestling lineage. She is the daughter of Jim the Anvil Neidhart, who undoubtedly is one of the greatest tag team wrestlers of all time, part of one of the greatest tag teams of all time, the Hart Foundation. So there really is no excuse why Natalya is not a bigger star. It's mostly because they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they haven't known what the fuck they were doing with Natalya ever since they got her in 2008. They put her with the new Hart Foundation, and they let that fall apart on them. They could have had something great, a new, strong upstart tag team, but they failed because, they just don't know how to get people over, basically, and they've been lost with the booking. If anybody thinks that it's just the past couple of months that they don't know how to book matches or write shows, I've been going on about this for a while. I started talking about wrestling consistently on YouTube since 2012, and well, I've really been pushing it further because it's become more and more obvious that they don't know what they're doing. Um, it has gotten to a point where it's like flat out ridiculous. Um, you know, Natalya is a heel now. They start off the year, they were trying to make her like at the top of the division, like a top contender for Charlotte's belt. Just straight out of nowhere, basically. They went from having a triple threat at WrestleMania with Becky and Sasha Banks, and those girls go to the back of the line, and Natalya just steps in out of nowhere, and they weren't even doing anything with Natalya prior to that, and now she's a heel, so they couldn't successfully get her over as a face, so they switched her to a heel. But the thing is, she's not a new star. I understand if she was a new star and she wasn't working as a face, so they make her a heel in order to get her over. But she has already been a heel, a face, and back to a heel, and then a face again. And, one farting gimmick later, she's found herself in obscurity. You remember the farting gimmick? It was like back in 2012 or some shit like that. I mean, they've done everything with Natalya, so, there's nowhere to go with her. They've failed one too many times with this girl. There's really no going back with Natalya. No one's going to take her seriously. I think it's kind of like you reach the point where, you could say, like, oh, there's always a way to redeem every, talk about movies. Every actor who's been in the bad movie. Ben Affleck, for example. Redeemable performances, Batman. But, that's a different case. And I'm not even going to get into that right now. People already have mixed reactions about that, but I mean, it comes to the point where, you can't just completely annihilate somebody's career And then, like, how is this supposed to work? I don't know. I just know Becky's going to win here. I know they know that they fucked up with Natalya. They can't even come up with a explanation with it. Well, she did give an explanation. She said that she was tired of, she says, she was tired of doing the right thing. She wanted to change. Okay, so that's the explanation. But Michael Cole's saying that she still hasn't explained herself yet. I'm fucking lost. Guys, I'm also really happy that Corey Graves is going to be commentating on Raw. I don't think he'll be replacing Michael Cole, but possibly Brian Sex Addict. I haven't heard anything. Has anybody else heard? I'm really excited about that. I'm not like gonna, strip down to my underwear and do fucking backflips. But also want to note, fuck this pay-per-view. It's like supposed to be like 89 degrees out here, but there's a nice cool breeze. Here in New York, we're suffering from a massive fucking heat wave, by the way. I just want to let you guys know that if one day I fucking melt in the middle of a fucking video, you know why that is. The highlight reel. Yes, Randy Orton is returning. I'm sure many people here on YouTube want to know how I feel about this. It's okay. It's better than not having him. And why am I saying this? So you guys know that I've kind of gotten a better appreciation for Cena as of late, John Cena. And why was that? I noticed in John Cena's absence that the show sucked hard, or harder than it did without having Cena. Cena added like a little bit of boost to the show. Not much, but the thing is, guys, after seeing guys like Sami Zayn, be thrown out there and just completely just not having any presence at all, at least you could say Randy Orton has presence. I'm still not gonna commit to saying that he has charisma, but he does have a presence. And there's a difference, I guess. And I know that might be hard to wrap your head around for some people, but I'll get to Sami Zayn in a minute. Randy Orton's probably going to RKO Jericho here. And, well, I'm happy that Jericho is going to be taking some time off after this. Because Jericho is just hard to watch. It's not his fault, but he's a shell of his former self. The way how they have written him, he just looks like another guy on the roster. You cannot tell that at one time this guy was the first undisputed champion. You cannot tell that this guy was once one of the most popular wrestlers on the roster. You cannot tell that, Chris Jericho was way more than what they're showing him to be now. As I said, they've made him into total goofball. The Jericho you see now with the scarf and, the bizarre catchphrases and the stupid idiot. It's just a really, really poor reflection on a once great wrestler. And, I don't want to say that he was once great. Maybe that's not the right way to say it. But Jericho used to be so much more than this. I mean, because he's nothing. He's nothing to the roster. The way how they're, they should be booking this guy to be getting some young stars over, and not just by losing to them. I'm talking about, working with them in promos, working with them in segments. These highlight reels should be epic. They should be, taking stars to the next level on the mic. And it's not the guy's fault. It's just simply the script, and it's just the way how these storylines are laid out. And Jericho, like, seriously, since he's been back, what feuding with Ambrose, what did that do for Ambrose? It literally took him nowhere. It didn't do anything for Ambrose. Now Ambrose is the champion, but it just feels random. He just went from the feud with Jericho to the world title. And this is what I'm saying. Take some time off. You might as well. It's not just like Jericho's fault, or I'm not saying he's bad or anything, but I could do without him for right now. That's all I'm saying. So Randy Orton will hit the RKO. Orton and Lesnar should be a pretty interesting match, and yeah, I am looking forward to it. It's star power. It's definitely going to be probably the biggest match they've had in a while. It's definitely more exciting than Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. So yeah, I mean, call me a hypocrite, but I'm looking forward to Orton being at SummerSlam and being involved. I mean, it's familiar face. The guy at least has a bit of a legacy behind him, and I'm not the biggest fan, but the guy has a presence, and they need star power. And, Randy Orton is that star power. And plus, the guy is probably going to retire soon anyway. Rusev will defeat Zack Ryder. I was kind of torn in this match. I almost was going to predict Ryder. You guys saw my Raw review. I was probably even saying maybe Ryder might win. I'm pretty sure Rusev is going to win. I know they're saying this Woo era is about to begin, but this is, once again, what I'm saying, reality. They're not going to do anything with Zack Ryder. Does the guy deserve more than Rusev? In my opinion, yes. I think that Zack Ryder has a great look to him. I think the guy proved on his YouTube channel that he has tons of personality, and that if booked the right way, and written into the storylines the right way, and proper writing for his character, I think that he could be taken seriously. I think with the right writing, many wrestlers on the roster could be taken seriously. It's just a matter of just how they're implemented into these storylines, into the writing, into the script. Zack Ryder losing 1,000 matches. I mean, the thing is, they could redeem Zack Ryder. They could have redeemed the guy at WrestleMania, winning the Intercontinental title. There's no reason why they couldn't redeem him. There's no reason why Zack Ryder couldn't have held on to the IC title, and they could have done something with him. It could have benefited him. It was exciting. It got a huge pop from the crowd. Of course, some people denied it because that's what we do here in the YWC. Even when we're fans of people, we deny the truth. I mean, it's just, step away from reality, basically. But it's going to be Rusev. And, Rusev does look like a star. Once again, I'm not crazy about Rusev, but he is one of those guys that does have a presence. It's just, I can't get behind this guy, the way how they've booked him. I mean, he's a complete joke. The character is too one-dimensional. They don't know where they're going with Rusev, basically. They are all over the map. Where did the feud with Titus O'Neil get Rusev? Where did they get Titus O'Neil? Nowhere. Where is it going to get Zack Ryder? And where is this feud with Zack Ryder going to get Rusev? Nowhere. It's not leading to anything. There's nothing intriguing, nothing thought-provoking, nothing exciting about this feud. Just about everybody wants to see Zack Ryder probably win here, but he's not. And they've been wanting Ryder to win. So here's the thing. If, build a portion of the company around Ryder. I'm not saying build the company, but what I'm saying, a portion, a small portion, like 10% of it is what I'm saying. Like they were starting to do in 2011, and it was getting a good reception. The guy was selling merchandise. I will never understand how, if the guy is selling merchandise, how they could have cut the guy's push. This is why I don't understand how pushes work in WWE. Basically, if they give a guy a title shot, that translates to it being a push, but yet they don't win. Usually a push is, a sudden surge of momentum given to a certain wrestler in order to advance his career. But that is not the case when it comes to Zack Ryder. McMahon doesn't like Zack Ryder. Ryder is like twice the size of what he was in 2011. He's become more muscular. He looks more intimidating. So I don't really know what they want out of Zack. They seem like they want to do something with him, but they don't want to commit to him. And I don't know why they insisted on him being like this guy where he loses and it's like, oh shucks, and then it's back to square one. I mean, why does it have to be oh shucks? Why does it have to be back to square one? Why can't he win a string of matches, win a title, and look impressive? It's not like anyone else is looking impressive doing anything else on this roster. I mean, what do they have against momentum? What is with the Even Stevens booking? And why does McMahon have such a problem with Zack Ryder? Is he just angry because like a lot of his YouTube channel with Zack Ryder was more exciting and more innovative and funnier than anything Vince McMahon put together? That he has a better sense of humor than McMahon? That it was getting more of a positive reaction than anything that was on the WWE television at the time? It's probably all those things, I would think. He's a very petty man, McMahon, very immature. So I wouldn't doubt that for a minute. The Miz will be Darren Young. Okay, Darren Young. I don't. Once again, I don't get it. I really, really would love the writers and Vince McMahon to explain what they're doing here with Darren Young. What is this? So they build him up for like 2-3 months in these skits with Bob Backlund. Some of them were hits and some of them were misses. Bob Backlund's funny, he's charismatic. Okay, great. Why is none of this stuff being done, like in promos? It's just like all vignettes, basically. So are we going to introduce Darren Young, in a nice segment on Raw? No, throw him into a battle royal. Don't even give him an entrance. You don't even get to hear the guy's theme until, he wins the match. Very little involvement with Bob Backlund. A battle royal that's like complete shit. Everyone's just being thrown out every which way. There's no excitement. A bunch of jobbers, basically. No star power. And Darren Young ends up winning, but not because he tossed somebody out, but his opponents tossed each other out. So right away, they make Darren Young look like a non-threat. He's this big star. Let's make Darren Young great again. And, he doesn't look great. He looks pathetic. How were you supposed to get into this character? Another goofy character. I mean, with all the goofy characters, they have Jericho acting goofy. They have, Kevin Owens getting hit in the face with a pie goofy. New Day. All these guys acting all fucking goofy and shit. So how are we supposed to, not think anything but that about Darren Young? Unless that's the intention. Unless he's supposed to be a comedy character. But then why are they, like, I guess I'm really struggling to say push. Is this a push? They're giving a pay-per-view match, basically. If they want the focus to be on Darren Young, why not, like, work something in with The Miz and Bob Backlund? Why not get some interesting, mic play going back and forth there? And Darren Young seems like he knows how to talk. Like, it can't get a little something going? I mean, it's like not a non-existent storyline. He wins a battle royal, and it's almost like Darren Young and The Miz. Instead, Del Rio and The Miz are having more of an interaction on Raw than Darren Young and Miz. It looked more like Del Rio and Miz were about to wrestle for the title at the pay-per-view, not Darren Young. Anyway, so I think The Miz is going to win here, which is going to completely just make the whole Darren Young thing look completely fucking stupid and pointless. I don't want The Miz to lose the title. If they are planning to give it to Darren Young, that's equally as stupid, and no one's going to accept it. And, they piped in cheers 2 weeks ago of, Darren Young. It sounded so fake and phony, and it was one of those cheers, like, you knew it was filtered in because it just stopped like that. I mean, come on. Do I really have to watch this tomorrow night? I'm going to, but I'm just saying. You've got Sasha Banks and her mystery partner against Charlotte and Dana Brooke. I think Sasha's going to pick Paige. I think it's kind of obvious. I was thinking maybe it's going to be Trish Stratus. Maybe it's going to be Lita. Maybe they're going to bring in a Divas legend, but we're not going to get anything that exciting. It will be Paige. I guess that's okay. Good star power. They should be doing more with Paige. I've said that. So, why not? Two strong baby faces. Is Paige a baby face? I guess she is. I don't know at this point. Once again, I don't even know anymore. We know where they're going. So many heel and face turns with Paige. Totally fucked her up. They don't know what to do with her. They brought her in trying to make her a big star, and I guess, maybe they're blaming Paige because they don't know how to, use Paige, so they're going to blame the wrestler, just like McMahon does. Oh, the wrestler doesn't succeed, it's their fault. Now, not McMahon, it's not the writers, not the bookers, not the agents. No, it's nobody's fault. It's the wrestler's fault. Let's blame the wrestlers. It's always the wrestler's fault. So, I don't know about this thing with, I think Dana Brooke is hot and everything like that, but, I don't know where Charlotte's really going to move forward with her. I can't really tell, is she kind of slowing her down in a way? I don't really see the point. Dana's like a lackey, but, Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe she would be better off without her. Did they get split up in the draft? Or I don't even know, really. Like, this is how unexciting the draft is. Like, I kind of even forget what I read about it. You know, I don't really know, like, where anybody is, really. I just know that fucking AJ Styles on SmackDown, which kind of pisses me off, and so is Cena. Let's just go to the next. So anyway, yeah, I think, you know, Sasha and Paige are gonna win that one. The Wyatts will defeat New Day. At least I hope they will. I mean, here's the thing about well, you want me to talk about New Day? Okay, I'll talk about New Day. Like I said, I was a fan of them when they were heels. Now that they're baby faces, I can't fucking stand them. And this feud could have been so much better. All they had to do was have the Wyatts kidnap Xavier Woods when they were at, you know, the, whatever the hell that thing is called. Their, what the hell is it? A plantation, their foundation, whatever it is, it's called, where the Wyatts live. I don't know what the fuck it's called. Anyway, whatever the hell that thing's called, they should have kidnapped him when he was there. And they could have used that as a storyline, like using him as collateral. You know, they could have implemented the storyline. It might be coming sooner or later. They might take Xavier Woods at the pay-per-view, which is going to be kind of lame, but they're probably going to do it. You know, their little final deletion segment, you know, they should have just done it then and there to try to do something exciting, but they're not going to do anything exciting because they never do anything exciting. And when they have the opportunity to do something exciting, they don't do it. It's like, can this company, like, get anything right? Can they do anything right? Are they possible? Is it possible for them to do anything right or successful? Because I don't think that they can. It certainly doesn't look like they have it in them, you know. It's just one failure after another, basically. And speaking of failures, let's talk about the Wyatts here for a minute. So they started off with the Wyatts, and they were pretty much immediately over. People liked the Wyatts. They wanted to see the Wyatts do good ever since NXT. Fans liked the Wyatts. They looked unique. It was something new. It was a character. So, you know, they get them involved with Cena. And Bray Wyatt and the Wyatts as a team are more over than they had ever been. So, but they choose not to do anything with this momentum. Instead, you know, they had Cena go over in the feud. They had a chance to make Bray Wyatt a world champion in 2014. 2015 rolled around, you know, they were doing, you know, they put them back together, and then, you know, it was just insanity. You know, Bray Wyatt could have won the Money in the Bank 2014 when Daniel Bryan had to forfeit the title. There was no excuse why he couldn't have won the title. It would have made perfect sense. I mean, you know, Bray Wyatt's on his own finally. Now he's going to win a singles title. But they didn't do that. You know, everyone's holding up their cell phone. Everybody, you know, is reacting during Bray's promos. I mean, the guy knows how to talk. He's got the look. He knows how to wrestle in the ring. I mean, it's like, you know, what more do you want from Bray Wyatt to prove himself? The guy could have been a world champion. He's a great character. He's marketable. You know, and that's the thing. I've noticed that word escapes many people nowadays. Marketability. How is Sami Zayn marketable? Which then brings me to Owens and Sami Zayn. I think Owens is going to win this match. Once again, are they separated by the draft? I don't know. I think they're actually going to SmackDown. Good. Like, I really kind of don't care. I mean, Owens, I don't know. He is on SmackDown, right? You know, I like Owens. I like the sarcastic personality he has. You know, it's a good character. They don't choose to flesh it out. They don't choose to do anything with him. I mean, the thing is like this. So, Kevin Owens, they bring him in the company. They have him beat Cena. A rare, distinct honor. They don't do anything with him. It's just like Del Rio beat Cena. Rare, distinct honor. They do nothing with him. He's losing to Darren Young on Raw. So it's like, you know, to say WWE doesn't know what the fuck they're doing is a giant understatement. I know I keep saying that, and it's repetitive already, but that's the truth of the matter is they just don't know what they're doing. That's the explanation behind it, because if they didn't know what they were doing, they wouldn't fall into these same issues. It's tiresome already with Zayn and Owens. It's going nowhere. There's no character development. I hear people praising things with them, but you don't see anything worthy of praise. I mean, really, explain to me what I should be praising about the Owens-Zayn feud. There's nothing here to get excited about. It's the same shit over and over. We've already seen this match. Ring of Honor, NXT, Raw, SmackDown, multiple pay-per-views already. They're going to fight to the end of the time. And I mean, that's exactly the truth. They're going to fight until the end of time. But I don't want to be here sitting in front of my TV watching them fight until the end of time. Man, I've got a lot to say about this fucking pay-per-view. Cena and Enzo and Cass will defeat the club. You know, this is kind of like one of those things where they're going to be branching off. I think Enzo and Cass are on Raw. I fucking hope to God that they are. This is my favorite team. So, you know, the club is going to be on Raw, meaning Gallows and Anderson, but not AJ. They're like already breaking them up, and I don't know why that is. Like, I like the idea of AJ having backup, and, you know, they just put them together, and now they're going to rip them apart just as soon as they started. Like, what? Like, this is what I don't get. The draft has come along, and they're just shuffling people around. You know, that's all it is. It's the same wrestlers. Like, it's like this. It's like, say I took a shit in the toilet, and I buy a new toilet. I got two toilets, so I take some of the shit in one toilet and I put it into the other. Still the same shit, separated. Two different toilets. Let's say there's two different brands of toilets, huh? What's a toilet brand? Coiler, for example. And I don't know what another brand, but pick a brand. Okay, just pick a brand. It's the same thing. Separating the shit into two different columns, two different rows, whatever the hell it is. It's the same thing. You're just shuffling things around. It's like a big puzzle, and you want that puzzle to be put together, and you want, you know, to see the full image already. You want to see, oh, it's beautiful. What is it? It's a sunset with birds and a sailboat maybe on a beautiful ocean or sea. Yeah, let's see it. Okay, here's the puzzle pieces. We're just shuffling them around. Okay, but wouldn't you rather put them together and come up with something cohesive? No, let's just shuffle them around. Well, you're not really getting anywhere. And that's what WWE is. They have a lot of puzzle pieces. They have a lot of, you know, great wrestlers. They have a lot of potential. There is potential. You could put this puzzle together. You could do it. You could make this beautiful image. You could do something great. No. Let's just shuffle the puzzle pieces around. Let's have another draft. No one asked for another draft. No one needs another draft. No one asked for it. No one wants it. We don't need it. Why are we having another draft? And people are celebrating. You know, like I said, SmackDown, you know, got the same rating as Raw, basically. Okay. So what? You know, mediocrity meets mediocrity. There's nothing to get excited about there. If SmackDown got above a 3.0, I'd say, hey, they're doing something right. But now it's just because they made such a big deal about draft. It's on all the websites, ESPN, it's in the magazines now. You know, they had the extra promotion. I don't know, they probably spent a little bit to make sure that, you know, they're promoting a little bit about the draft. I mean, hey, come on, you know, like, how does wrestling get this much attention? It's a draft. We've already seen a draft already. It was a draft during a much more popular time in wrestling. And it was even when attention and, you know, and fandom for wrestling started to wane. Let's be perfectly honest, in 2002, when they had a much better roster, a much more star-powered, filled roster. So I think Cena will win with Enzo and Cass. But the thing is, why are they breaking up the club already? Why are they putting Cena on SmackDown? Why are they putting AJ there as well? I mean, two of the most popular. And so who are we left with on Raw? So we got Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. I mean, I guess that's okay. I mean, they have room to work with Reigns here. We already know that the guy's, good. It's just they haven't realized the guy's potential. They don't want to do anything really to help this guy out, to start getting more positive reactions and start getting, people with a clear head. I see they see the same thing that I said about Roman Reigns. It's enough already. We know the guy's not great on the mic, but the guy has proven himself already in the ring. We know he looks like a star. He could be so much more. It's the writing, it's the script. It's, Roman sucks. Okay, I get it, but it's enough already. We know this about Reigns. Okay, so on to Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns in the triple threat match. I think Dean Ambrose is going to retain because that's what we're going to get at SummerSlam. They're going to want to do, the buddy versus buddy match and Reigns and, Dean Ambrose. And maybe Roman will go full heel. Maybe he'll do something to win the belt. But he's going to win it back at SummerSlam. I know that. Roman's going to win it again in SummerSlam. So what is that going to make him? A 3-time champion? Which is kind of ridiculous already. I know The Rock, won the belt like 3 times in the span of a month, but hey, that's The Rock, okay? So anyway, yeah, I think it would be a decent enough match, really. But so they're gonna be shipping Dean off to SmackDown, and they're gonna want to do a Raw versus SmackDown match at SummerSlam. That's why I'm predicting that, which is stupid. Because that's what I said would ruin the draft in the first place in a lot of ways, is because they kept doing, like, inter-promotional matches and, crossing over and jumping ship, and it kind of, like, really ruined the exclusivity of the brand extension in the draft. You didn't really feel like those stars were unique to each brand. You kind of just felt like, well, okay, they're keeping them on that show to give the illusion, but really, there is no brand extension. It just made it look more and more fake. And that's what they're going to want to do here. They're going to want to do one of those bragging rights. They're going to do one of those tags eventually, but they're going to do, that type of Raw versus SmackDown type of bullshit. And it's like, how ridiculous was it in the draft? Someone going from Raw to SmackDown, from Raw to SmackDown, and they have super shows. And it's like, you already saw these matches already. It's just because one guy is, from SmackDown, one guy from Raw, doesn't make it any more exciting. It's fake brands. There's nothing to get excited about there. When they did it at first in the draft, there was a little bit of intrigue to it, but there isn't anymore. And they're definitely not going to get away with that nowadays. That's definitely not good enough. It's not going to be good enough. So there you go, guys. That's your predictions. Like I said, it's just a bunch of puzzle pieces being shuffled around atop a table. They refuse to put the puzzle pieces together.